Ladies and GNTLEMEN, I got to tell you, life is going to hit you hard sometimes. You know, the kind of hit that knocks you down, leaves you breathless, makes you question everything. But you know what? That's not the end of your story. It's just the beginning of a new chapter. Because when life gets tough, when it feels like everything's falling apart, there's someone that's standing right there beside you. You may not see it, but it's there. It's in the silence, in the moments of despair, in the tears you wipe away when no one's looking. It's not the end. It's just the start of your comeback. And I'm here to remind you, you're not alone in this fight. You see, we all face obstacles, big ones, small ones, obstacles that feel like mountains. We've all got dreams, we've all got goals. And we've all had that moment when it felt like everything was just slipping through our fingers. You ever been there? When you're doing everything right, putting in the work, and still nothing's happening? You feel like the clock is ticking, the world is moving, and you're standing still stuck in the same place. It's frustrating, right? But let me tell you something, don't give up now. The thing about life is it's never just a straight line. There are ups, there are downs, there are valleys and peaks. And when you're in that valley, when you're down, when it feels like the whole world's against you, it's easy to forget that you're not alone. I'm talking about when the weight of the world feels like it's on your shoulders and you just can't take it anymore. That's the moment when you have to dig deep. That's when you find out who you really are. You see, there's something greater than what you see in front of you, something beyond your understanding. It's in those moments when you feel most alone, that's when the most strength is building inside you. There are forces at work that you don't even know about yet, forces that have been guiding you your whole life. And they're not about to let you fall. You've been through too much. You've faced battles that others didn't even know you were fighting. You've cried in the dark, you've made sacrifices, you've stumbled. But you're still here. And that right there, that means something. Some of you might be sitting here thinking, I don't have what it takes. Or maybe you're thinking, I've been fighting for so long and nothing's changed. Well, I'm telling you right now, change is coming. You might not see it. It might be hard to believe, but I'm telling you, change is coming. And that's not just hope I'm talking about. It's a truth you can count on. You just have to keep your head up, keep your heart open, and keep moving forward. Even when you don't know where forward is taking you. Now, I know life ain't fair. I know it can feel like the odds are stacked against you. But you got to remember, it's not about what's against you. It's about what's inside of you. That strength you don't even realize you have. That fight you forgot you're capable of. Don't let the world convince you that you don't matter. Don't let the setbacks make you think you're finished. It's just a test. It's just a challenge. And you're stronger than you think. Some of you are saying, I've been betrayed, I've been hurt. Guess what? That's part of the journey. That's part of life. You get knocked down and you get back up. You get knocked down again and you get back up. The ones who succeed, the ones who make it, are the ones who don't stay down. You keep coming back. You keep showing up. That's how you win. You show up every single day, even when you don't feel like it. Even when you're exhausted. Even when you're broken. And let me tell you this, when you're broken, that's when you're the most powerful. You've heard it before, but I'm telling you again, broken things can be fixed. Broken things can be rebuilt. You've been through a lot, but look at you. You're still here. You didn't quit. You didn't give in. So what's next for you? What's your next step? Because you're not done. Not by a long shot. There's a reason why you're still breathing, why your heart is still beating. There's a purpose for your life, something greater than you can see right now. You may not understand it in the moment, but you're part of something bigger. And when you get to the other side, when you look back on the journey, you'll see it. You'll see how every step, every challenge, every struggle was shaping you, molding you into the person you're meant to be. And yeah, it's hard. And yeah, you're tired. And maybe you're frustrated because you're not where you thought you'd be by now. But let me tell you this, every single day you get up and keep moving forward, you're one step closer. Don't quit now. Don't you dare stop. You keep pushing, you keep fighting. And don't let anyone tell you that you can't, that you're not good enough, that you don't deserve it. Because you do, you've earned it. And what's coming next? You've got no idea how good it's going to be. You see, you've been through the fire, you've been through the storms, you've been in the dark, but the sun's coming up. And when that sun rises, you'll be ready. You'll be stronger. You'll be wiser. You'll be wiser. You'll be exactly who you were always meant to be. And when you look at what you've overcome, you'll realize something. You weren't doing it alone. You had help, even when you didn't know it. So don't give up now. I don't care how tough it gets. I don't care how many times you've been knocked down. You get back up. You stand tall. And you remember there's someone who's got your back no matter what. And when you can't go anymore. That's when the real power kicks in. When you think you can't take another step, that's when you're going to take one more. That's when you're going to find out just how strong you really are. You're going to be all right. You just keep moving. You keep fighting. You keep believing. I'm telling you right now, you got this. You may not see it, but I do. I know what you're capable of. I've seen it before. And if you keep moving forward, if you keep pushing past the fear, the doubt, and the pain, you're going to make it. Don't ever forget that. You're not alone. You're never alone. Keep your faith. Keep your head up. Because you're not finished yet. Not by a long shot. Life will challenge you. But the key to success is continuing. G, to move forward even when things seem impossible. Your strength is built in the toughest moments, and you have the power to overcome any obstacle as long as you keep getting back up. Even in moments of doubt, pain, or failure, you possess an inner strength that can carry you through. You may not always see it, but it's there. Trust in your resilience, because what you're capable of is greater than you think. Life is not a straight path, and success doesn't happen overnight. Every setback, every challenge is a part of the bigger picture, shaping you into the person you're meant to become. Keep pushing, and you'll see that everything you go through is preparing you for something greater. You're not in this alone. Even when it feels like you're fighting by yourself, there is support around you, forces, people, or circumstances that are guiding you. The strength you need to keep going often comes from a source you can't always see, but it's there. Keep the faith and trust the process. There's something we all share, something that's a part of our journey, no matter where we come from, no matter what we've been through. It's the struggle. Every one of us has experienced it in some form, whether it's the weight of responsibility, the pain of failure, the frustration of not reaching our goals, or the isolation of walking a path no one else seems to understand. We all know what it feels like to be knocked down. We all know what it feels like to lose our footing and wonder if we'll ever stand up again. But here's the thing, struggle is a part of the process. Struggle is what shapes us, what builds us. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that struggle is something to embrace just for the sake of it. It's not something you should seek out or welcome with open arms. But I'm telling you right now, if you can understand that struggle is not your enemy, but rather your teacher, then you will begin to see the beauty in the journey. When it feels like the world is just throwing punches, life can be overwhelming. There are times when it feels like no matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, the results don't match your effort. You put in the work, you grind day after day, you show up, you sacrifice, you're committed, and still the breakthrough doesn't come. Am I doing the right thing? Am I good enough? Why is this so hard? Those questions are natural. They come from a place of vulnerability, a place of deep self-reflection. But here's the thing, I need you to hear me clearly. You don't get the answers right away. It's not in the moment of struggle where you find out everything about yourself. No, it's what you do when you don't have the answers, when you don't know how the story will unfold, that determines the character you build. See, in those moments, you have two choices. You can quit, you can throw in the towel, you can let fear, doubt, and frustration take control. Or you can dig deep, you can lean into the struggle. You can rise up, even when it feels like you have no more strength left to give. I've been there, and I know what it's like to feel like you've given everything you've got, only to see the finish line move further and further away. But let me tell you something, when you don't give up, when you don't surrender to the struggle, that's when the transformation begins. The struggle is your proving ground. It's where you discover who you really are. You see, anyone can succeed when things are going well. Anyone can keep going when the road is smooth, when everything falls into place. But when it's hard, when every step feels like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, that's when you learn what you're really made of. And that's when the real work begins. I want you to think about the most successful people you admire. I want you to think about the legends, the heroes, the people who have overcome impossible odds. They didn't get there by avoiding struggle. No, they got there by facing it head on, by going through the fire, by refusing to back down. They may have stumbled, they may have fallen, they may have even doubted themselves at times. But the difference between them and those who never make it is simple: they kept going. They kept pushing through. Now, I know it's easy to look at someone else's success and think it must have been easier for them. It's easy to assume that their journey was somehow smoother than yours, that their success came with less effort, less pain. But that's an illusion. Everyone goes through the struggle. It's just that some people are better at hiding it, at showing only the end result. But you know what? The struggle is what gives that success depth. It's what makes it meaningful. Without the struggle, there's no story to tell. Without the struggle, there's no sense of achievement. You see, the thing about perseverance is that it's not just about enduring, it's about enduring with purpose. It's about understanding that every challenge you face, every obstacle that stands in your way, is an opportunity to grow, to learn, to evolve. So often when we're in the middle of the struggle, we're so focused on how hard it is that we forget to look at the lessons it's teaching us. Every failure, every setback, every disappointment is a lesson in disguise. It's telling you something about yourself. It's showing you what needs to change, what needs to improve, where you need to dig a little deeper, where you need to find more strength. The hardest part of struggle isn't necessarily the pain. It's the uncertainty. It's the not knowing how long it will last. It's the not knowing if it's even worth it. And that's where the true test comes in. Can you keep going when the road is unclear? Can you keep moving forward when you don't know where forward will take you? That's the defining moment. That's when you find out if you're truly committed to your journey. Because perseverance isn't about knowing the outcome, it's about trusting that you'll make it through, even if you can't see the way forward right now. I need you to hear this: the breakthrough is closer than you think. It's easy to give up when you feel like you're at your lowest point. When you feel like you've hit rock bottom, it's tempting to believe that there's no way out. But the truth is, the only way through is forward. The only way out is through. And every step you take in the middle of that struggle is bringing you closer to the breakthrough that's waiting on the other side. You might not see it right now, but trust me, it's coming. I want you to think about all the times you faced adversity before. Think about the times when you thought you wouldn't make it through. The times when you felt like the walls were closing in. The times when you questioned everything. And yet here you are. You made it. You overcame. You got through it. And if you made it through once, you can do it again. Every challenge you face builds your capacity to handle the next one. Every failure makes you stronger. Every setback sets you up for the next comeback. But the key is to keep moving. No matter how hard it gets, no matter how many times you fall, keep moving. Every time you rise, you become more than you were before. And when you face that next struggle, you'll face it with more wisdom, more strength, and more courage than the last. It's all a process. And every part of that process is preparing you for what's ahead. You see, the beauty of struggle is that it doesn't define you, it refines you. It takes everything you think you know about yourself and forces you to evolve. It forces you to break through your limitations, to discover new depths of resilience, to realize just how much you can endure. And in the process, you become a stronger version of yourself. A version of yourself that's not afraid of the struggle, but that embraces it, knowing that on the other side, there's something greater waiting for you. And the thing about perseverance is that it's contagious. When you persevere, when you show the world that you won't quit, that you won't back down, you inspire others to do. When life begins to test you, When the world starts to feel heavy and the weight of your responsibilities presses down on your shoulders, there's a moment, a pivotal moment, when you will have to decide whether to surrender or to tap into something deeper. Something within you that you might not even realize is there. We all have it. It's called inner strength. And believe me, it's one of the most powerful forces you'll ever come to know. It's the thing that gets you through the storms, the thing that carries you when you're too tired to carry yourself. But here's the thing about inner strength: it doesn't just show up when you need it. You have to build it. You have to cultivate it. You have to believe in it, especially when everything around you is falling apart. The world is going to try to break you down. It's going to throw challenges your way, and sometimes it's going to feel like you're not strong enough to handle them. But that's where inner strength comes in. It's the quiet force within you, the one that whispers when the noise of the world is deafening. It's the part of you that knows you are capable, that knows your potential is limitless, even when your circumstances make you doubt it. Inner strength is about resilience, yes, but it's also about belief. It's about looking at the obstacles in front of you and saying, I am bigger than this. It's about looking at the mountain and saying, I will climb it, even if it takes everything I've got. Here's the thing about self-belief: it's not a luxury. It's a necessity. When you face difficult times, when you feel like giving up, your belief in yourself is what keeps you going. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't trust your ability to overcome, then what's the point of even trying? Self-belief is the foundation for everything you will ever achieve. It's the spark that ignites your passion and your persistence. Without it, all the talent, all the skill, all the hard work in the world won't take you where you want to go. But with it, with self-belief, there is no limit to what you can accomplish. Now, I know that there are moments when you feel like you don't have what it takes. I know there are times when you look at the distance between where you are and where you want to be, and it seems too far. Maybe you've been knocked down before. Maybe you failed. Maybe you faced rejection, disappointment, or loss. It can feel like every door is closed, like the world is telling you that you're not enough. But that's a lie. That's the voice of doubt, the voice of fear, and it's not yours to listen to. You have to learn to drown out that noise, because the truth is, you are enough. You have everything within you to face the challenges ahead. We've all been there staring at the impossible, wondering if we have the strength to keep going. We've all had moments where the world felt like it was caving in on us, where we thought, I don't know how much more I can take. But it's in those moments and the times when you feel your lowest that you have to dig deeper into that well of inner strength. It's not about being perfect. It's not about having all the answers. It's about continuing even when you don't have all the pieces of the puzzle. It's about trusting that you are capable, even when everything around you makes you question that belief. Self-belief doesn't come from external validation. It doesn't come from the applause of others, from accolades, or from the opinions of people who might not even understand your journey. It comes from within. It comes from knowing deep down in your core that you are enough, that you are worthy of success, that you are capable of overcoming whatever life throws at you. And when you know that, when you truly believe that, nothing can shake you. The opinions of others don't matter. The setbacks don't matter. The roadblocks don't matter. Because you know, without a shadow of a doubt, that you have the strength to make it through. But let me be clear, this is not something that happens overnight. Building self-belief takes time, it takes effort, and it takes practice. It's about learning how to trust yourself in the face of adversity. It's about getting up every time you fall. Not because it's easy, but because you know you're getting closer to something bigger. It's about showing up day in and day out, even when the results aren't immediate, because you understand that success isn't defined by a single moment. It's built on the consistency of your actions over time. One of the hardest things about believing in yourself is that it requires you to confront your own doubts. It forces you to look at the parts of yourself that feel broken, the parts of yourself that feel broken, the parts of yourself that feel weak, and challenge those beliefs. The truth is, we're all walking around with our own insecurities, our own fears. We all have those moments when we feel unworthy, when we feel like we're not good enough. But here's the kicker: those feelings don't define you. They don't control your destiny unless you let them. You are not your doubts. You are not your failures. You are not your fears. You are who you choose to be. You are the person who gets up after every fall, who fights through every challenge, and who believes in themselves even when the rest of the world doesn't. There's power in your belief. You might not see it right away, but every step you take with self-belief reinforces the foundation beneath you. The more you believe in your own potential, the more you align with your purpose. And the more you begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. When you believe in yourself, you stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstance and start seeing yourself as a creator of your own fate. You stop making excuses and start taking responsibility for your future. And when you take responsibility for your future, that's when things begin to change. Self-belief is about more than just confidence. It's not about walking around with your chest puffed out, pretending like everything is perfect. It's about knowing that even when things aren't perfect, even when you're facing uncertainty, you still have the ability to move forward. It's about accepting that you won't always have all the answers, but trusting that you will find them as you go. It's about trusting that even the challenges, even the pain, are part of your growth. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to believe that you can handle whatever comes your way. And when you start to believe in yourself, something magical happens. You begin to see things differently. The challenges you once saw as obstacles now become opportunities. The fears you once allowed to paralyze you now become stepping stones. And the failures you once feared now become lessons that move you forward. Every setback becomes a setup for a greater comeback. And with every step, you get closer to becoming the person you were always meant to be. So here's the bottom line: believe in yourself. Believe in your power, your strength, your ability to overcome. Because you are capable of more than you think. You are worthy of more than you've been told. And you are deserving of every success that comes your way. Trust in your journey, trust in your resilience, and know that as long as you keep believing, you will keep moving forward. Even when it feels like you're not getting anywhere, remember that every step, every choice, every moment of faith is moving you closer to the life you've always dreamed of. You have the strength within you to make it happen. Believe in that strength, believe in your journey, and never, ever give up on yourself. There's a truth that many of us often forget when we get caught up in the hustle, the constant striving, the pressure to succeed, and the overwhelming desire to reach our goals as quickly as possible. The truth is, it's not just about the destination. It's not just about crossing the finish line or achieving that thing you've always dreamed about. It's about everything that happens along the way: the highs, the lows, the setbacks, the triumphs, and even the moments of doubt. That's where the real growth happens. That's where the real lessons are learned. It's in the journey itself. Life is a process, not a race. Yet so many of us treat it like one. We're constantly looking ahead, waiting for the next achievement, the next milestone, the next thing that's supposed to make us feel fulfilled. But in that rush to get to the end, we miss the beauty of the present moment. We overlook the lessons that only come from the journey. We miss out on the joy that can be found in the pursuit itself. When you embrace the journey, you understand that life is not something to be endured while you wait for things to get better. Life is something to be lived step by step, moment by moment. And that journey, with all its twists and turns, is what shapes you into the person you're meant to become. It's not about the place you're trying to get to. It's about who you are becoming along the way. I know it's hard sometimes. It's easy to get frustrated when things aren't happening the way you imagined, when the road feels longer than you thought it would be, or when you look around and wonder why everyone else seems to be moving faster. It's easy to feel like you're stuck, like you're not making progress, like your dreams are just out of reach. And in those moments, it's tempting to focus only on the end result. But the real question is not, when will I get there? The real question is, am I learning what I need to learn on the way? You see, there's value in every step, even the steps that seem small or insignificant. There's value in every failure, in every setback, in every moment of doubt. Those moments are not the end, they're just part of the process. Every challenge you face is teaching you something. Every obstacle you encounter is shaping your character, building your resilience, and preparing you for the success that's waiting for you. Embracing the journey means accepting that everything that happens, both the good and the bad, is a part of your story. It means recognizing that the struggles, the challenges, and the times when you feel like giving up are just as important as the victories. In fact, they might even be more important. Because it's in those moments of difficulty that you develop strength, wisdom, and perseverance. It's when things don't go according to plan that you have the opportunity to grow in ways you never imagined. This is something I want you to really understand. The setbacks are not there to stop you. The failures are not there to break you. They are there to teach you. And the key to embracing the journey is realizing that those challenges, those bumps in the road, are not signs that you're on the wrong path. They are signs that you are on the right one. If everything was easy, if everything was smooth sailing, there would be no growth. There would be no depth. There would be no story to tell. Life is full of uncertainty. There are no guarantees. There's no manual that tells you exactly how to get from where you are to where you want to be. And that's the beauty of it. Because the uncertainty, the unpredictability is what keeps you engaged. It's what keeps you learning. It's what keeps you striving. When you embrace the journey, you stop needing to know everything. You stop needing to have every step figured out. Instead, you focus on what you can do right now. You focus on the next step. You focus on moving forward, no matter how small that movement might feel. This is where the magic happens. The magic isn't in the destination. It's in the little victories, the quiet moments of progress, the times when you show up even when you don't feel like it. The times when you keep going even when it seems like nothing is happening. The magic is in the growth that happens in the struggle. It's in the strength you build when you don't give up. It's in the confidence you gain when you keep showing up day after day, even when you don't see immediate results. But embracing the journey also means accepting the unknown. It means letting go of the need to control everything, of the need to have every detail planned out. Life doesn't always go the way you expect it to, and sometimes the best things come when you least expect them. That's the beauty of the journey. You never really know what's around the corner, but you can be sure that every turn, every detour is leading you to exactly where you need to be. There's a reason why you're on the path you're on, and there's a reason why things unfold the way they do. Trust that even in the moments of uncertainty, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Too often, we think the journey should be linear. We think success should look a certain way. We expect to move from one point to the next with everything falling neatly into place. But the truth is, life is messy. It's unpredictable. It's not a straight line. And that's okay. The twists and turns, the moments of doubt, the detours, they're all part of what makes the journey so meaningful. Because when you get to where you want to be, you won't just have the achievement to look back on. You'll have a lifetime of lessons, stories, and experiences that shaped you into the person you've become. The journey also means learning to be present. We spend so much of our time looking ahead, thinking about the future, worrying about what's next, that we forget to appreciate the now. We forget to celebrate the progress we've made, to appreciate the lessons we've learned, and to enjoy the moments that are unfolding right in front of us. Embracing the journey means taking the time to enjoy the process. It means looking around and seeing the beauty in the everyday moments, even the hard ones. It means realizing that the journey itself is what gives life its richness. And part of embracing the journey is also about embracing yourself. There will be times when you doubt your worth, when you question your abilities, when you wonder if you're even on the right path. But embracing the journey means accepting yourself as you are, flaws and all. It means trusting that you are enough, that you have everything you need to get through this. It means believing that you are worthy of everything that's coming your way, even if you don't feel like it right now. The journey is as much about discovering who you are as it is about reaching your goals. You will be surprised by how much you learn about yourself when you stop focusing on the destination and start embracing the process. In the end, life is a series of moments, a series of steps. And the only way to truly live is to embrace each step, each moment as it comes. Don't rush through life waiting for something to happen. Don't live for the destination. Live for the journey. Because when you do, you'll realize that the destination was never the point. The point was everything that happened along the way. It was the person you became, the strength you discovered, the lessons you learned, and the people you met. The journey is what shapes your story, and that story is the greatest gift you'll ever have. There are moments in life when it feels like you're alone. You're walking through something difficult, facing an obstacle that seems insurmountable, and it's easy to believe that the weight of the world is on your shoulders. You might look around and see others seemingly thriving, living with ease, and you might feel like you're the only one struggling. It's in those times when you feel isolated, when you feel like you're carrying the burden by yourself, that you need to understand something important. You are never truly alone. Even when you can't see it, there is support around you, guiding you, holding you up. And often that support comes from places and forces you can't always recognize or understand. We live in a world that often praises independence. We are taught from a young age to stand on our own 2 feet, to be self-reliant, to fight for our dreams without leaning on anyone else. While there is truth in the value of hard work and self-sufficiency, there is also a truth that we often overlook. We are all connected. We are all part of something greater than ourselves. We are woven into a vast tapestry of human experiences, of people, of forces, and of energies that shape our lives in ways we often fail to recognize. Even when you feel like you are walking this journey alone, there is support around you, support that might be unseen but is no less powerful. In those moments of struggle, when you feel at your weakest, it's easy to doubt that support exists. You might feel like you're just another person in a sea of faces, just another soul trying to make it through the day. But that's far from the truth. Even when you can't see it, there are forces around you, people, circumstances, opportunities, even your own inner strength that are working in your favor. Life has a way of putting the right people in your path, placing the right lessons before you, and opening doors that you didn't even know existed. One of the most profound forms of unseen support comes in the form of people who appear in our lives at just the right time. It's the mentor who shows up when you've been struggling to find direction. The friend who listens when you feel like no one understands. The stranger who offers you a word of encouragement just when you need it. These people don't always come with fanfare, and they don't always stay forever, but their impact is real. They offer you the guidance, the wisdom, the encouragement you need to keep moving forward. And sometimes it's not until much later that you realize how much their words or actions change the course of your journey. But the support doesn't just come from the people around you, it also comes from something deeper. You have an inner compass, an intuition, a sense of guidance that's always with you, even when you don't consciously acknowledge it. Your instincts, your gut feelings, that quiet voice inside you, those are forms of support too. They are reminders that you are not alone in this world, that there is something within you that always knows the way. It's easy to ignore that inner voice, especially when the noise of the world gets too loud. But the more you learn to listen, the more you begin to realize that your intuition is often the most reliable form of guidance you'll ever have. Trusting that voice, trusting your own inner wisdom, is a form of support that's always available to you, even when nothing else seems certain. And let's not forget the support that comes in the form of the experiences and lessons you encounter along the way. You might not realize it in the moment, but every challenge, every setback is a form of guidance. Life has a way of teaching us exactly what we need to know, even when the lessons are hard to bear. When you face adversity, you are being shaped, strengthened, and prepared for something greater. You might not see it now, but every obstacle is part of a larger plan, part of your own growth and development. The struggle you go through is not pointless. It's not random. It's guidance in the form of experience, pushing you forward, teaching you resilience, and giving you the tools you need to move to the next level of your journey. This unseen support isn't always going to come in the form you expect. Sometimes it will be a lesson you learn the hard way. Sometimes it will be the strength you find within yourself after being knocked down. Sometimes it will be a situation that seems difficult, unfair, or even cruel, but in time, you'll look back and realize that it was precisely what you needed to grow. Life's greatest lessons are often learned in the most challenging of circumstances, and while it's easy to wish for things to be different, you have to trust that everything that happens is guiding you towards something better. The support, the guidance, it's always there, even when it feels like life is against you. You see, this unseen guidance isn't just something external. It's a force that exists within you, a deeper knowing that you are capable of more than you can see in the present moment. There's a power inside you, a strength that you don't always recognize, that is constantly working to bring you closer to your purpose. It's easy to forget about that power when you're in the middle of a struggle, but trust me, it's always there. It's the force that keeps you going when everything else says quit. It's the fire that keeps burning inside you even when the world tries to extinguish it. When you stop and tap into that inner strength, you tap into a power that will guide you forward no matter how difficult the road may seem. But the thing about unseen support is that it's often subtle. It's not loud, it's not flashy, and it's not something that demands your attention. It's the quiet strength that whispers to you when you need it most. It's the feeling that things will get better, even when you don't have any evidence to prove it. It's the sense that you are being held, even when you feel like you're falling apart. Sometimes it's a person showing up at the right moment, offering help when you least expect it. Other times it's the shift in your mindset that suddenly makes things click, the understanding that comes to you when you least expect it. The support you need might not always come in the form you envision, but if you remain open to it, if you keep your eyes and your heart open, you will begin to see it for what it is. When you learn to trust in the unseen support, you learn to trust in life itself. You learn to trust that things are unfolding as they should, even if it doesn't always make sense in the moment. Life has a way of putting the pieces together, of making things happen at exactly the right time. You don't have to understand everything, and you don't have to control everything. Sometimes the most important thing you can do is allow yourself to receive the support that's available to you, even when it's not obvious. When you stop fighting against the flow of life, when you stop trying to figure everything out, you open yourself up to receive the guidance that's been there all along. And one of the most powerful forms of unseen support is the guidance that comes from the universe, from whatever force you believe in, whether that's fate, destiny, or simply the natural order of things. There's a force at work in the world, an energy that connects us all. And when you align yourself with that force, you tap into a power that's greater than your own. This unseen guidance can lead you to opportunities you couldn't have predicted, people who can help you in ways you never imagined, and circumstances that unfold to bring you exactly what you need, right when you need it. The key to receiving this support is trust. You have to trust that there is a bigger plan at work, even when you don't understand it. You have to trust that every step you take, even the steps that feel uncertain, is leading you to where you need to be. The more you trust in the unseen, the more you open yourself up to the support that's waiting for you. And the more you receive that support, the more you'll see how connected you truly are to everything around you. Every person you meet, every experience you have, every challenge you face, it all contributes to the larger story of your life. And through it all, the unseen guidance is there, always ready to help you move forward. When you embrace this idea, when you trust that you are supported, you will find that the journey becomes easier, even in its hardest moments. You will learn to lean into the support that's available to you, whether that's people, experiences, or your own inner strength. The unseen guidance is always there, and when you open yourself up to it, you begin to realize that you are never truly alone.